We're back.
Like old times.
Let's go. What is up, and welcome back to the Daily Traders Podcast. This is episode number 31. Crazy.
Is it?
Crazy.
Mark is
This
back.
31. I always ask if it's the right episode number.
What episode?
This is 31.
It's
It's
31.
31.
Oh,
Nope. Last week was 30.
I'm back from
Okay.
Miami. I missed out on the last episode.
Yeah, you did. I mean, you were too busy flying around in a little helicopter.
I know.
We were joking that it would have been really funny if you joined in.
Dude, I was just going to say
Imagine
that.
How funny that would have been.
Oh my God.
We should have done it.
They're so loud though, like we would not have been able to.
If I just joined the podcast, like from a helicopter.
We're like, where's Mark? He's like, oh, there he is. He joins. You're just like
Helicopter over Miami. I'm your host, Mark. This is my co-host, Jack. Welcome back.
Yeah, I'm excited. Well, so we were supposed to have a guest today, but Mother Nature did not permit that, as there's currently a foot of snow outside. We should have taken snowmobiles to the office. The roads were that bad.
Yep.
I had to.
We got Alexa's
Alexa's going off. Alexa.
So we couldn't have a guest on, unfortunately, like you said. The guest we had, he'll be on later this week.
Yeah, I think Wednesday he'll be on, which I'm really excited because this guest. So just to put in perspective, to get you guys excited for this next episode coming out, I hopped on. So I normally do like a phone call with the guest before we shoot the episode, just kind of tell them how it goes. We come on to the pre-show. It's on Zoom, what we talk about. And this phone call, they're normally like 5 to 10 minute phone calls.
Yeah.
Just go like boom, boom, boom. Yep. But this phone call went on for over 2 hours.
You said that's crazy.
It's insane. This guy is like probably one of like the smartest people I've ever talked. He's brilliant. I'm so excited for this episode. Like literally, I was talking to you like, damn, like we're really gonna give away some secret sauce when it comes to.
I met his someone he works with in New York in Chris's office when shooting the Run for Group trailer. That's how we made the connection, right?
Yeah, super.
okay.
Super. Loose connection. He was like, oh, this guy would be really, really good in the episode. Super like eccentric, energetic.
I got the
energetic
card.
Guy. Yeah,
I got the card. I sent it to Jack. I was like, try to connect with this guy. And that's how we roll over here.
Nice.
Pretty much.
nice.
Quick disclaimer, we are not financial advisors. We cannot give any financial advice. Nothing said in this podcast should be taken as financial advice. The full disclaimers is in the description below.
Hey, that's actually something I want to start talking about, which I think is really important for networking when you're kind of starting out, and it's cold DMing people. So for example, for the Rumford group, I cold DM'd over 100 people. Over 100 like very experienced traders on Wall Street. But, probably got like 20 responses.
That was Twitter.
Yeah, all on Twitter.
Okay.
I DM'd them. Got like 20 responses. Two of them ended up actually joining us for the Rumford group. But it's like the art of cold DMing. Like for example, like with this guy who we're gonna have on this Wednesday on the podcast, it was like a cold message. I said, hey, I forgot the guy's name who recommended him from New York.
I think his name was Joe.
Yeah, Joe.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, Joe.
The most generic name ever.
Yeah, Joe.
You didn't just make that up.
no, it's
His name's
good.
Joe. Okay.
Yeah, Jane Doe told me that
John, you mean John
John
Doe?
Doe.
John Doe told me, he's like, well, but it's like, and for example, this week, which was actually a really cool experience for me, kind of like a whole full circle moment, I got a cold DM on my personal IG, and it's this kid from our city was like, hey, I'm 17, I'm a senior in high school, this is what I'm doing. He's doing sales for other mentorship groups. And this kid in high school is making like $7,000 a month.
Dang.
As a 17-year-old kid in high school with no expenses, living at his parents' house, just saving up money,
Wow.
And it's crazy, like really what you can do. But it was cool because that was me a year ago. Cold DMing other professionals, trying to get on a phone call, go grab coffee. And that it's like the art of networking and cold DMing. And it's like one thing that I've always said is like, if you see all these people on Instagram that are like living the life that you want to live, send them a cold DM. Say, hey, my name is Jack and I do this. Provide like some value. Don't just say, hey, my name's Jack. I'm a random kid. I want to like meet up with you.
Or I want to learn from you, or I'll work for you for free.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, so for example, here's the example of what not to do. This kid hit me up. I tried like doing like a public Snapchat for a little bit. That was kind of weird. I don't know. That was a weird little phase I went through. And this kid hit me up. He's like, bro, like, let's hang. Literally just said, bro, let's hang out. And I just like didn't answer. And he said, and then he like swiped up, said some other thing. I was like, oh, like, thanks, man. And then he was like, oh, like, I'm going to fly down this summer. Like, when should I fly down this summer? Just like really like, I don't know you.
That's so strange.
It's just weird.
Yeah.
You gotta provide value.
Exactly.
It's like if I was, still living at home and I want to work with these guys, it would be, hey, listen, YouTube videos are great. Here's how I can help you. Like that's what it's got to be. You got to bring something to the table. You can't just be like, hey, let's hang out and then we teach you things. That's like how a normal job works. Like you apply for the job, yeah, you might get it off what you already know, but then they teach you everything. No, you got to come in hot with like something that we don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is so important. And I feel like there is stuff we don't know that people could bring to the table potentially,
Because it's like, I've heard this quote before. It's like, your network is your net worth. And then like networking is so important. Networking for me has provided so many opportunities, which we can get into like some like other things that I've pursued. But, I want to keep this focused on like what we're doing. But it's like the art of being able to like hold DM. And I think like step one, you have to provide value. Yeah. You have to say, hey, this is who I am. This is what I've done. This is my experience. And then kind of add like a little compliment in there. Like I've seen you on Twitter and I love the value providing out. You're killing it. And also keep it casual first. Cause for example, like this kid DM'd me, he's like, hey, like, let's go get dinner at like this Italian restaurant. That's a little weird. You know what I mean? Like I've never met you before.
Yeah. You now, on a date.
Now, yeah. It's like he's like trying to like take me out to dinner.
Yeah.
And he was like, I'll pay. He was like, let's go grab dinner on me. Like it was just a little weird. It was like, I was like, hey man, but like I saw him and myself like a year ago. So I was like, I kind of, instead of like not answering, I was like, hey, like, let's just go grab coffee. And that's cool. So like grabbing coffee, hopping on a phone call. So step one, provide value. Step two, keep it simple. Step three, like compliment them. Say like, hey, like I love what you're doing. I'm like really passionate about this. And like with those 3 steps, obviously not everyone is going to make time for you, especially if they're really busy, they're high net worth, whatever. Yep. But every once in a while, you're going to get someone who's you're going to want to meet up with, and then you do, and then it turns into this wild connection, and the possibilities are limitless.
Hell, you know what? Step 4, be a Nardwar. Do your research, know your stuff. When you go out to coffee with the person, be like, hey, I really liked what you said in whatever podcast about you eating ramen in college a lot. It's like that sort of thing. And then they'll be like, oh, you know about that. That's so cool. And then it impresses them. And then you really got your foot in the door there, which I think is very important.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Mark in Miami last week. Being really busy, networking a ton, just really exploring. And you told me you're really inspired this morning. Mark's like, oh my God, what do you want to do? Tell us what you want to do this week.
I was in Miami for like 5-6 days. Obviously, like we said, there's a foot of snow outside. Seasonal depression is a real thing. People get super depressed, unmotivated, uninspired. And I came back yesterday. I shot a vlog in Miami and I told media, I'm like, I'm editing this video.
Gut punch.
Taking your job. Yeah. No, because I felt, the sun, the vitamin D, just being out, like meeting people. Vitamin D no, sun is vitamin D.
Yeah, I thought it's vitamin C. No?
Nah.
Look it up.
We don't have Wi-Fi.
We don't have Wi-Fi. No, but I felt so much more motivated and so much more creative and inspired, and sometimes just switching up your, where you live, just going on vacation, like it makes the world of a difference. And now I'm like back and feeling better than ever. And oh, by the way, new set, right?
Oh yeah, if you guys didn't notice, we're completely.
I was gonna say
we were. This is actually the lounge area, and we were. I think you texted like the company group chat, and you're like, guys, why have we not shot a podcast here? Because this is like a cool. It's not as like professional and like newscasty as the other set, but it's a very chill podcast vibe, and I like it. So
we moved the sign out here a bit ago. We tried getting a sign, and it was like way too much money. So we were like, oh, well, let's just move the one that's floating.
$7,000 for a metal engraved sign.
Yep.
Yeah. But huge motivation coming back into the office, switching it up with, the new set. I feel like we're on a really good start for the new year in 2023.
Yeah, I'm excited. I saw a poll on your Instagram story. You were like, should I move to Miami? And now like, I'm trying to move down to Miami in 2024.
Yep.
So I was like, dude, like, yes, move to Miami.
Well, I was telling you earlier, I thought this was interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, first, I don't think I'll be moving to Miami anytime soon. But it was interesting because it's like every other car in Miami is a Rolls Royce.
Yeah, like a McLaren.
Or a McLaren or something like crazy.
Yeah.
G-Wagons, every other car. And you go in Boston, which is like 2 hours from Portland where we're located. It's like you're never going to see a Rolls Royce. And I made the argument, like, if you have money, like the people who have money, who would choose to live somewhere like where it's like this, where, the Wi-Fi goes out because there's so much snow, it's cold, you're unmotivated, it's just not a creative environment to be in.
Yeah.
And you don't see like there's obviously the argument like there's job opportunities like in a city like Boston.
Yeah.
But if you have money, you can optimize your lifestyle, and I think it's about optimizing your lifestyle to be the most creative and make the most money at the end of the day, and surrounding yourself with other people. And like that's just not happening here. We have good connections here, but they're all like 60-year-old businessmen.
Yeah, we were talking like the for example, like one of the guys, he actually owns this entire
building.
Like skyscraper, not skyscraper. What would you even?
It's one of the biggest buildings in Portland.
10-story. It's a pretty big building. But then he was like, oh yeah, I also own those 2 buildings. I bought them for like 33 million 15 years ago. I remember when he said that. I was like, God damn, like that's
I own that building, that building, that building.
We're literally looking out your office window. And he's like, yep, I own that building, that one. Oh, you see that one way over there? Yeah, I own that one too. And all these they're like huge office buildings. I'm like, holy cow, dude, it's crazy. But obviously, great guy to know. But as far as like what we're doing, like we're not in like the commercial real estate investment space. So it's like, why, like, do you think it makes sense moving to an area where we're surrounded by people in the same type of industry? Because in Miami, it's a lot of e-commerce, clothing brands, tons and tons of like social media.
Super. Yeah. It's like, I think 3-4 years ago, I think Miami was different. That's what I've heard.
Mm-hmm.
And Miami's becoming like the new LA.
Yeah, in a way. And like I was in LA, and I met so many people there. Mm-hmm.
And a lot of them actually a couple of them live in Miami now, which is funny. But I don't think Miami where I am in life right now is the move. And I've said why I like living in Portland and other podcasts, so I don't need to repeat myself. But at the end of the day, like if you're happy where you live, that's great. But if there's an opportunity cost, you have to make some sacrifice. Like if being in Portland means I'm missing out on all this opportunity and potential money that I could be making if I was living in Miami or LA, then you have to really gauge like pros and cons and figure out if like moving is the right choice.
Yeah. And this is kind of, so same subject, a little bit different. A lot of my family has always been like, dude, you're 18 and you're working like all the time. Like go have fun. Like this is the time, you're a kid, you're young, go have fun. You can worry about like, starting businesses and making a ton of money when you're older, but right now go have fun. But for me, it's like right now is the time when I'd rather, grind and work really hard. So that way, by the time I'm like 24, I'm like completely financially free.
Yeah.
So that plays into, I could be down in Orlando right now where I went to college.
Mm-hmm.
But when I'm in Orlando, it's like the amount of distractions are crazy because I have so many like close friends down there.
Yeah.
There's constantly like, instead of working at the office, I could be, I don't know, out at the beach and chilling with my friends, which sounds great and is like really, really fun.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like a dopamine driven lifestyle. But the ability for us to work here and like stay focused and like just come into work and grind is like super important. So do you think for like a kid who's like starting out and like has that mentality of, oh, I want to be successful at a young age, make money first and then enjoy life later, do you think that's kind of putting yourself in a like location lifestyle where you're not distracted with social and
I mean it all depends on the person, but 100%. Like when I went out to LA, I could have so easily gone in with the wrong group of people, started partying every weekend and gotten super distracted and gotten off track and not, be where I'm at right now.
Yeah.
And I was in LA and I knew what I wanted and I didn't let myself get distracted by those things. If you're young, it's hard because you don't have money. You can't move to LA.
Yeah.
And you're stuck in your hometown with the friends that may be bringing you down because everyone's just like majority of kids our age are just partying, drinking, and just enjoying life. And I think putting in the work now and then really being able to enjoy life later. And it's not even like we're sacrificing like enjoying life right now because I enjoy what I do. You enjoy what you do.
Yeah, it's a different type of fulfillment. It's like you go to bed and you're like, okay, I did a lot today to better my future.
I don't think you're necessarily stuck in your hometown. Like I think I kind of saw you do this in a way when you were leaving. Was like you saved up money, so you had like a little bit, to kind of fall back on in case you were initially failing. But you still got a ticket. You still found a place. You get something relatively affordable, maybe not in the city, but around the city. Like there's ways to do it, but whatever you do, it's going to be a risk. And that's just kind of something you have to accept when, you're trying to make money on your own, whether you're going to try trading or, maybe you want to be an actor and you're going to try to start going to those sort of gigs right out there.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, whatever the city is, really, it's always going to be that. But I think, whether you're working at a grocery store or gas station, you could save up. Especially when you're living on your parents, you don't have too much expenses. Yeah. You could plan a year, 2 years ahead once you're out of high school. you know, and then go do that instead of college, you know. It is a possibility. Just thought I should say that.
Yeah, it's opportunity cost to risk, and it's like I always put myself in a position where there was no like failure wasn't an option. And you said the other day like that was such a huge piece of, you know, like advice that, you know, I gave you that it really, I think like that has helped me so much. And when you don't have a second option, there's no plan B. You'll find a way to make it work.
Yeah, and let's go back to that moment. It was this summer. I was at, you know, your place. We're kind of sitting there and we're like, oh shit, like this is kind of grown way faster than either you and I could have anticipated with the podcast, my own trading. I was doing like my own YouTube series, and then all of a sudden it was like this full-time job and I was making good money, and you're like, dude, like, are you gonna go back to college? And I was like, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's a good question. And right there I was like, I think I called up one of my buddies. I was like, hey, do you want to move in with me? I was like, I like really wanted a roommate. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna call one of my good friends. If you can move into me, I'm doing this. I call him like, hey, bud, you want to move in with me? He's like, yeah, sure. I'll fly down in 2 weeks. And that was it.
Yeah.
And then I made up my mind. I was like, all right.
So I think also recognizing the opportunities when they're like right in front of your face.
Yeah. One thing I always like to say is like, picture yourself in 3 years. And then if in 3 years you look back on an opportunity and you could picture yourself saying like, shoot, I'm bummed out that I didn't take that opportunity. Like in 3 years, if I went back to college and, you know, I would have been graduating, I wholeheartedly believe that I would look back at this opportunity and say, damn, I regret not doing that. So kind of like looking forward in yourself and making sure that you're not going to regret the decisions that you make for like long-term life changes.
Yeah, that's some good advice. I wanted to like kind of switch things up here and talk about, well, it's because I've been having a lot of like thoughts on whether I should move or not because I don't like the cold.
Yeah.
And the reason I'm here is because I have like family, friends here. It's a good, chill city. And I think more than anything, you have to realize the biggest thing that's holding you back. And for me, I sacrificed being away from family for so long in LA that I wanted to get that back. But now is coming a time where the opportunity cost for staying here, it seems like there might be more opportunity for growth otherwise outside of Portland. Because like I said, I was in Miami meeting these people that are our age doing the same thing. The content, the lifestyle that you can live and experience and enjoy there. Waking up yesterday to, you know, sunny sky with palm trees and then waking up this morning, looking out the window and seeing a couple feet of snow. It like kind of hit me. I'm like, you know, I'm here because of really family. And do I want to sacrifice that again? Do I want to move away and, you know, live somewhere else because I know I'll be able to do better in life and like set myself up for a better future? And it's all, you know, you got to gauge the pros and cons, and I'm still trying to figure it out. But I think it's important to like just sit back and think about what you're willing to sacrifice and how far you're willing to go to really get what you want.
Yeah, and also like, you know, make it work. Okay, so we've talked about how like geographically, like what city you're in can really affect, you know, your focus, your distractions, right? And like the sacrifices that you're making. But I think one thing that goes along with like every location, and I see this is like the biggest fault that I see in like most kids our age, and it's girls, right? And girls in the sense that like I see guys, and that is their sole focus. Like all they think about is girls. They have 50 girls on their Snapchat, right? They have like a Snapchat private story just for girls. They're constantly like trying to look dope on their social media, so like they can get like some girls to like hit them up. And the amount of energy it takes to like manage that and constantly think of that and occupy your mind. Because I'm not gonna lie, like this summer, like we were kind of like on that type of wave where we were like, we'd finish work and be like, all right, let's go like hang out with some girls, like at the, you know, go downtown and whatnot. And it was just like distracting. And it was just this whole thing. And it's like, you only have so much energy you can put out. And the one thing that I see the most fault in guys all the time is that they're so focused on girls all the time. When am I gonna hang out with this girl? When am I gonna? I need a new girl. I need a blah blah blah. And like but then you also hear about saying, okay, never get a girlfriend because a girlfriend will like hold you back.
I've heard that.
Like, what is your opinion on that?
I mean, I feel like if you're out looking, that's the problem with like guys. They're, you know, whether they're into like the whole hookup culture thing and they're just going out to clubs trying to meet a girl. If you're out looking to meet someone, whatever the intention, it's never gonna work. I feel like feel like it's just at the random time you'll meet someone that could be like, someone you're really into and you really connect with. I always have been more like on the antisocial side. I've never been I'm not like a very extroverted person. Yeah. I'm more extroverted than introverted, but I was never that guy going out and trying to like meet girls like that proactively, like you were saying. And I was hanging out with someone in Miami, and it was funny because like he had his Snapchat, literally was Snapchatting 25 girls at the same time. And trying to balance that is insane.
It's like its own side hustle.
But I feel like it's not true. If you meet the right person, they're not going to hold you back. They're going to push you forward, and they'll even help you go further than you could just on your own. But I mean, as far as the girl talk, like I don't really have any more public advice.
Okay.
But it's interesting. We just want to take a second to thank this week's sponsor, thedailytraders.com. Now, if you guys are interested in learning how to trade, and if you want access to see my exact trades, including entries and exits this year in 2023, go ahead, click the first link in the description. We're going to put a discount code right there so you guys can go ahead and join. But with that said, let's get on with the episode.
We're back.
And we're back after a little short break. I want to talk about trading because this is like a trading podcast, right? Yeah. No, but I really enjoyed
Daily
that.
Traders.
Daily Traders. I enjoyed that first half.
Yeah.
So let's talk about a challenge I'm doing this year, which I want to say, preface this by, this is like for entertainment purposes only.
Yeah.
Okay, so I took $10,000, I put it in an account, and I am going to be trading that $10,000 account this year, and I'm putting 100% of that account on each position. Okay, that is not how you trade. That's improper risk management. Do not trade like that. But I thought it would be fun for everyone, who follows us, TikTok, Instagram, and the mentorship group, to be able to see what happens with that account and where it goes. I'm just going to be, every trade I take on my personal account, I'm throwing that 10K in as well. It's not my account that I'm trading with. I don't trade with $10,000. I'll actually reveal how much I trade with. As you guys know, I've been trading with $200,000 each year. I'm trying to increase the amount I trade with. And as traders, it's hard because you have to be able to deal with the risk you're putting on the table emotionally. And it's very, very hard when it comes to increasing position size and stomaching that amount that your loss is going to be.
Yeah.
But I've gotten to a point where I've been trading long enough and I feel confident enough in my strategy. And that's part of like the 10K account challenges. If I'm putting 100% of that 10K on each trade, which is crazy. So this year we'll see what happens. It'll be fun, but I'm like prepared to lose 100% of that money. And, as I always am with the money I'm trading with, but I'm increasing my account size drastically. Because I feel like it is a level of risk that I can now tolerate.
Can you talk more about your personal trading account, like what you're trading with?
Yeah, so I was trading with $200,000.
No, but for this year?
Yeah, and this year in 2023, that's weird to say. This year in 2023, I'm trading with $500,000, so $500,000.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So do you have like goals in terms of percentage gains or dollar goals?
I do. And I'm going to make a YouTube video and really go into the account and cover like the goals for that.
Okay.
So stay tuned for that. But trading with, $500,000 is a lot. And it's also, it's something that I feel like I can do. I'm confident in now.
Yeah.
After having like some really, really solid years.
Yeah.
And decreasing how much I'm trading and trading with bigger size is kind of the way I'm headed. Mm-hmm. And that's just because of the market and the opportunities that I look for. There's less of them.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a tough year, in 2022. I had a great year trading, but I wasn't trading 8 times a week.
Yeah.
I was taking 1 or 2 trades a week.
Yeah.
And so you think about that, it's like, okay, I'll trade with more capital, size heavier, knowing my risk to reward, my strike rate, and we'll see what happens.
Okay. Do you want to talk about how you go about taking profits? Because there's really 2 ways. Way one is that you have a set amount. Every time you achieve over that amount to a certain percentage, you take that money out of the account. And then the second way is you just keep growing and scaling the account and compounding it. Mm-hmm. So how do you go about? Do you compound? So for that $500,000, are you going to continue compounding it throughout the entire year? And, as the account grows, you're going to raise your risk, or do you take out a certain percentage over that 500K?
Good question. I'm going to talk about that in the YouTube video. I'm not giving away any of that because I want to make this a whole separate video.
I already said enough.
Yeah.
I didn't even know
I don't
you were
want to
gonna.
give. I don't want to
know
give away too much here. I didn't even think I was going to talk about this. In
Okay,
this
well, that's
podcast.
cool. Well, stay tuned. Okay, so now what about taxes? Because a lot of people don't know how taxes work with trading. So how do you go about your taxes and taking profits?
Yeah, so obviously capital gains tax sucks. So I'm trading under an entity, to save money on taxes. I have a great accountant, so that'll be, hopefully I won't get too soaked, but there's like not much you can write off when it comes to trading gains.
So at what point in your trading career, in terms of like a dollar amount or percentage gain amount, should you go looking for an accountant?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. I think it all depends on like your account and how much, they charge hourly. My account charges $500 an hour. So it's like, okay, am I going to be making enough to, pay for the accountant?
Yeah.
And then the accountant is in return going to save me X amount.
$500 an hour.
Uh-huh.
Mine charges $100.
That's not, wow.
He's good. He's like really good. I've had great, I've really enjoyed working with him, but $500 an hour, well, that's steep.
Yeah. But again, those hours that, he's charging, whatever, how many hours it is, we'll do a 2-hour consultation. It's $1,000. He'll save me more than $1,000 in taxes.
Yeah.
So that's how you figure it out.
Okay.
And there's no like, oh, you make $10,000 trading in a year, go get an accountant. It all depends.
All right, guys, we're kind of trying to keep this episode short because this was so last minute with the Wi-Fi. We had no planning, so we're kind of just like scrambling this episode together. But I wanted to end it on one more type of mindset topic, and that is, I've heard this, I think it was like an Instagram reel, probably in some type of, similar successful. Like, guy was like probably 40, wildly successful. And he's talking about how in success, you need to have something that you're running towards and something that you're running away from. So running towards as in, you just really, really want to live this type of lifestyle and be financially free. And then running from your family doesn't have a lot of money. No one in your family maybe went to college or they've never made above $200,000 in a year. So some type of like fear, something that's propelling you forward and you're running away from, but also something that you're chasing and you're passionate about.
I like that.
So for you, like, tell me what was, because you have both, right? You have something that you're running away from and something that you're running towards. So what are you running towards and what are you running away from?
Ooh. I mean, I didn't even think about this. I definitely used to be running away from being stuck in school and going to college.
Okay.
That was always
Boom.
like, I think that's everyone.
Yeah.
That's how I got to where I am now. I'm not running away from anything right now.
But back when you started, like, what were you?
I was so worried about being stuck working an average job.
Okay.
And then I was stuck, I was worried about being stuck in school because I hated school.
Yeah. Okay. And then the passion, like what you were running towards.
What I was running towards, I found a passion for trading and I've always had a passion for making money because I just wanted that freedom, that ability, like that financial freedom that everyone wants.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if I could, get that as fast as I possibly can, then I'll have to I won't have to suffer through these years of college or whatever it may be. And I think, like, again, I put myself in a position where I had no option to fail.
Yeah.
And so now it's always just running towards those next goals I set to help like propel me forward, push me forward, and like growing this company, growing my trading account, and setting just life goals and just knowing that I always want to be able to do whatever I want in life and eventually be able to help everyone in my life as well.
That's great. Yeah, I mean, that is just something that I heard and I was like, oh, damn, that's actually, and it challenged me to think about what I'm running from and also what I'm running towards. So, as a viewer watching this podcast, if you don't really know what you're kind of stuck, you don't know what to do, or maybe you've started something and it has a bunch of promise, I challenge you to think of what you're running towards and what you're passionate about, and then also what you're running away from and that fear that's, waking you up every morning.
Keeping them motivated.
Yeah.
I like it.
Awesome. All right. That's a good note to wrap up on. I hope you guys did enjoy this episode. This has been the Daily Traders Podcast with your host, Mark, and co-host, Jack.
Later.
Thanks for watching, guys. Peace.
Bye.